This is Cheryl Morgan at Helsinki Airport, which, as you can see, is a very modern airport full of all sorts of shopping, including, of course, the Moomin shop, where you can get all of your Moomin needs, should you have them, which of course I'm sure you do. There are lots of other things that you can buy here when you arrive at the airport. And note, by the way, that in Helsinki, rather than go through a whole bunch of back corridors to get to the arrivals area, you here are dumped out right out into the main shopping area, so you can buy lots of tourist stuff or get something to eat or whatever. But we're going to be following these signs here to arrivals, because that's where we need to get to in order to get the baggage and to get into Helsinki. So just follow along with me and we'll make our way through the airport. As I mentioned, you can get pretty much anything you want. If you're in need of a glass of champagne or something, it's available. But rather more importantly, if you're in need of cash, there's money changing facilities here. There are also ATMs scattered around the airport. We're continuing to follow signs to the arrivals area, wandering through the airport here. More signs coming up in this general direction. Exit, that sounds good. Or alternatively, if you feel like it, you can stop off at this fine pub. Yeah, still following signs for exit, and there's a very big sign saying exit, which is very encouraging. And there's a little notice board here at the exit which tells you which flights are on baggage claim there, and that includes my flight from Amsterdam, so I'm definitely going in the right direction. Here we go down the escalator. And we can see a sign here which tells us that there's going to be a train to Helsinki city centre. That's all very encouraging. And just wander this way, following the exit signs. Please do not push on the revolving doors. And here we are arriving in the baggage claim area. Just like any other airport, this is going to take some time, so I will sign off briefly until my bags arrive. So I've got my bag now and I'm heading out through the customs declaration area and into the main arrivals area of the airport. Usual chaos here, but you can see a great big sign with a picture of a train there. So let's follow that sign in this general direction and see where we get to. So we're going to head down this passage. There are signs here as well saying T1. There are two terminals at Helsinki, T1 and T2. And the train station is halfway between the two. So don't worry that this is sending you to T1. You won't have to go that far. We'll just get about halfway along that journey. There are toilets, of course, if you need them, and more helpful purple signs saying this way to Helsinki city centre. The corridor connecting the two terminals is full of little desks with airline information stuff on, should you have need of it, which hopefully you won't. We can see some taxis out the window there, but no need to get a taxi, I think, because the train is very convenient and also nice and cheap. Just keep out of the way of a nice Finnish person driving the cleaning machine there. If you should have any need for information, for example, you would like a map of Helsinki, there is an airport information kiosk here. You can pick up your map and anything else that you might need, information and so on, you can get it from this place here. And we're just going to continue a little bit further down here. One of the things you do need to note about the train is that they don't sell tickets on board. You need to buy your ticket at the airport. You can get cash from an ATM here if you need it, but what we're going to do is go along to one of these machines and buy ourselves a ticket. Here we are at the ticket machine. See, it's got that purple symbol with the train on it, so we know we're doing the right thing. There's a little button here to ask for instructions in English, and the ticket we need is number 2 regional. We want 1 adult, and you can see that's €5. And to pay, you just use your debit card on the little pad at the side. I did try my American Express card and it didn't like that, so you might need an ordinary debit card, but there you go. You can get a ticket and then head down here to the main entrance to the railway station. You see the train symbol there and a big arrow so that you can't get lost. So we just wander through here. Nice little view of the car park outside. Now there's a big hole in the ground here that we have to go down into. I'm going to take the escalator, but you can see, I think there's an elevator available as well should you need it. It is a very big hole in the ground, a long way down here. It's not quite as futuristic here as it is on the Jubilee line in the underground, but I think Finland's done a pretty good job of making it look high-tech and whatever. You can see the elevator cage there going down, so if you need the elevator you can certainly use that instead. I just like watching myself go down these holes in the ground. Also, of course, you get a sense of just how deep underground you're going when you go down on an escalator like this. And finally, we're getting to the bottom. More train signs, just to reassure us that we're in the right place. Sorry about the video being a little bit wobbly here, but I've got a lot of baggage and it's not always easy to keep things steady when you're filming, when you're also trying to carry bags. You'll notice there are signs in 3 languages. That's in Finnish and Swedish, which are the 2 official languages of Finland, and also in English, because they get a lot of tourists here and most of those tourists prefer to communicate in English. Coming round to the main station area here, we can see we've got an arrow directing us off to the left, although that again, there's the railway track down there. There is another elevator if you need it, but I'm just going to go down the escalator again. or travelling down holes into the ground. And here we come out onto the platform. There is a train actually standing in the station, but that one was just about ready to leave, and I also wanted to take a look around the platform, so I skipped that one so we could do a little bit more recording. There's some art and stuff here, and there's some signs you can see. This gives you a map of the railway network. That loop in the center is the airport to Helsinki line. You can see it goes both ways and trains go both directions along both lines, so it really doesn't matter which direction you take, and all of the trains go through Pasia, which is the convention center station, and Helsinki Central, which is the terminus. So that's all nice and easy. It's very, very difficult to get on the wrong train, because there are no wrong trains from this platform. They all go to Helsinki, and they all go to Pasia. Just looking a bit further along the platform there, more signage and stuff. And we can see that there are lots and lots of trains. It's basically once every 5 minutes at this time of day. There's also a machine here to get tickets for VR, which is the intercity service that they have in Finland. So if you do want to go to another city, that's the machine you need. Now this here is a map of the line. It's telling you where the train is going to stop. There are lots of stops along the way. It's also a commuter service in addition to being the airport service. And usefully, this map also gives you timings. It's a little difficult to see on the film, but if we go down the end here, we can see it says there 28 minutes to Helsinki. And there are little symbols there showing where you get interchanges. Now, here is my train. So time to get on board. One of the things I like about this train is that they're aware that people will have heavy luggage, so it's a nice easy step at the same level onto the train. Obviously lots of people with bags here. Let's take a little look around so we can see nice comfy seats, plenty of room. What I didn't see immediately was somewhere to stash my luggage, but I found that later and I will point that out to you. And here we are underway, taking a little look at the Finnish countryside. Lots of birch trees, lots of fairly low-level housing here. We're right out in the suburbs at the moment. Looks to be a pretty nice day in Helsinki, though there are some heavy clouds over the city centre itself, and I gather there was quite a heavy rainstorm just after I'd arrived. Let's take a look around the carriage now. There's this multi-level thing here, and bendy trains. You can see the join between the two carriages. These upper level seats give you a slightly better view, I guess. And down the back there you can see luggage area. I think it just depends which door you go in through, whether you get to the part of the train that has a luggage area or not. There are also, of course, overhead luggage racks, so I've got some of my luggage stored up there. But my bag is standing quite happily in the vestibule area there. So let's sit down and enjoy the ride. There are signs in the train saying where the next stop is going to be. There's also a map above the door, so it's really very hard to get lost. All of these station names are in both Finnish and Swedish. It is, if you remember, a commuter train, and people who have commuter season tickets can use these little machines here to tap themselves in and out. If you're familiar with the Oyster system in London, then this will be working fine for you as well. Now we are just pulling into Pasia station. Pasia is where the convention centre is. In fact, there it is outside the window there. As you can see, it's a very, very big place. Lots of major events take place here. And then there's lots of offices and shops and hotels and things. Just down that road there is the Holiday Inn. We're moving a little bit too fast to see the sign, but that's where you can find it. More shops and offices, and we're now coming to a halt in Pasia station. There is some construction going on here, and I'm hoping to make a visit here in a day or two's time to work out what's happening. But this is a station that you would get off if you have a convention centre hotel, or if you're coming from somewhere else to attend the convention. And it's a 5-minute trip from Pasia into Helsinki Central. We're just coming into Helsinki now. There's this lovely lake on the left-hand side if you go down this part of the line. And there's a very nice pub over near the lake, which you may find yourself in. And later on, it's famous for being the place where Lenin and his mates hung out occasionally and had committee meetings when they were planning the Russian Revolution, and you can actually sit at the table that they sat at when they had those meetings. All nicely historic. Now there's a nice older Finnish wooden building there. And on the other side we can see we're now pulling into Helsinki Central Station. There's the platform. You can see one of the green VR trains there. You'll notice that there are double-decker carriages. It's nice to get a good view out over the countryside if you're travelling through Finland. Some of the older VR trains have this red livery. And there's another airport train waiting to go out. I'll come to a stop now, press the green button to get out, and wander out onto the platform in Helsinki. The airport train is relatively new. It's only been running for a year or so. So the platforms that they arranged for it are right on the outside of Helsinki. So either side you can get an airport train going either way around that loop, and we just need to wander here down into the main part of the station in order to get out. See the signs up there on that building, Helsinki and Helsingfors. Helsingfors is the Swedish name for Helsinki, so you'll see that a lot. Also signs pointing you to various other services, including the Big Square M, which is the city's metro service. It's the underground railway. It does look like it's been a little bit wet here in Helsinki, a lot of water on the ground, but it was fine by the time I got there. And here we are in the main part of the station where the VR trains go from. Somebody had a lot of fun decorating these VR trains, obviously trying to make tourists and children feel happy about it. Lots of nice little pictures along the sides. Helsinki Central is a terminus. You can see the buffers at the end here. There's nowhere else to go further south in Finland, or you will end up in the sea. In fact, that water area that we passed, though it looked like a lake, was actually seawater. Most of the things that look like lakes that you will see around Helsinki are actually the sea. That the city is built on a whole collection of islands, and it's now so overbuilt that it's very hard to see that that's the case. But you are surrounded by sea wherever you are in Helsinki. Coming up here now to the main ticket hall area. So we'll just wander around this way. And up there you can see the main departures board for Helsinki Central. It's not clear on the video where all of those trains are going, but I can assure you that if you could stop and take a good look, you would be seeing trains for Moscow and St. Petersburg. So those are the main international destinations for trains from Finland. You might be wondering why they're not going to Sweden. Well, in order to get to Sweden, they'd have to go up north and come back south again, which is a bit silly. So the main ways to get to Sweden are either to fly or to get a ferry. There are ferries from Helsinki and also from Turku in the west of Sweden. Hopefully these nice people will open the door for me. Thank you very much, folks. I'm entering into the ticket hall area here now. There are food stalls, newsagents and the like here. So if you're arriving back in Helsinki in the evening and you're in need of a snack, there'll probably be somebody here willing to sell it to you, or you can get a cup of coffee early in the morning. Of course, if you're looking for something in the evening, you don't really want to get food here when you can go out and enjoy the fabulous restaurants that they have in Helsinki. Although if you are really missing Burger King, there's a large Burger King here, as you just saw there on the left, that you can go to. That large hall there in front of us with the big green VR sign on it is where you buy tickets for the intercity trains. And here is the entrance to the metro system. So if you do have to travel on the underground, that's where you go. And we're just going to go around the side here and out of these doors, which are going to take us into Helsinki proper. There you are, sign saying city centre. So here you will find shops, restaurants, and also you can see some of Helsinki's famous trams there parked, ready to take you to other parts of the city. So if you have a city centre hotel, which is near the railway station, it's going to be a very short walk from here. There are hotels all around this region. So that's it. We have arrived in Helsinki. This is Cheryl Morgan signing off. I hope you have a safe trip here and a wonderful Worldcon.